On the night of June the 7th, Russian troops shelled the Kryvyi Rih district of the Dnipropetrovsk region. This was announced by the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Valentin Reznichenko. As a result of the shelling, residential buildings were damaged. A 64-year-old man was injured. The settlement of Velyka Kostromka of the Zelenodolsk community was shelled by a long-range missile hurricane by these forbidden cluster munitions. Unfortunately, the man was wounded in his leg. He is currently in hospital. His life is not in danger. This morning, the Russian military shot on Seredina Buda in the Sumy region. This was announced by the head of Sumy Regional Military Administration, Dmytro Zhevitsky. According to him, there were 7 mortar shots and then the enemy opened artillery fire. At least 6 houses, a farm building and a garage were damaged. There is also damage to the power line. According to preliminary information, there are no dead or injured among the local people. The State Bodyguard Service said the shelling came from Russia's Bryansk region. During the current day, mortar shelling of Ukrainian territory was carried out from the Russian village of Mykolaiivka. This was reported by the State Bodyguard Service of Ukraine. According to the agency, after the shelling in the Sumy region were found about 30 pits from Russian shells. It is reported that there are no injured or infrastructure damage. The head of the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, Oleg Sinyahubov, said that a fire broke out in a private house in the Kyiv district as a result of a Russian shell hit. Rescuers saved a 52-year-old man from the rubble. A 70-year-old woman was also injured. This day, the shellings were also recorded in Kharkiv, Chuhuiv and Lozova districts. Lozova community was fired at with missiles. Critical infrastructure facilities as well as educational facilities are damaged. I can already say that as a result of the shelling, 2 schools, 3 kindergartens, a large part of high-rise buildings, as well as dormitories, where not only residents of the Lozova community but also migrants lived, were damaged. There were no casualties in Lozova. Currently, the Russian military has launched missile strikes on several settlements in the region. The shelling was recorded in the Kurakhove area and in the town itself. This was announced by the mayor of Kurakhove, Roman Padun. There are civilian casualties. 3 people were severely wounded in the village of Khostre. In Kurakhove, residential buildings were damaged due to shelling. The shelling was very strong here. Here the whole house is cut down. There are no glasses in the windows anywhere. A 5-year-old child was standing in the hallway in his underpants. I grabbed the child like this. I trembled for 2 hours. Law enforcement officers inspected the area and documented war crimes committed by the Russian military. Policemen went to the place of hits. Previously, it was a MRL system hurricane. We talked to the locals. Windows, doors in houses are damaged. There are no victims in Kurakhove. Bakhmut is a city in the Donetsk region located on the way of the Russian military to Slovyansk. According to the mayor of Bakhmut, Alexander Marchenko, active fighting continues in 10 kilometers from the settlement. The city is shelled not only with missiles but also with artillery. Shells are constantly arriving in this area. They shoot from all sides and it all flies past me. You see, the roofs are made of oilcloth, there was slate everywhere, everything is ruined, the beams are broken, as in my house. And here was a mine, so I had to plant tomatoes again. That's where it exploded. It's good that I left the garden on time. I just left the garden, the plane arrived, he was shot down, but he managed to drop mines. In Bakhmut, dozens of houses and businesses were destroyed. There is no gas in some places, water and electricity. Locals say they are used to the explosions, but they are still scared. I'm afraid, I'm very afraid. I'm going to hide in the cellar when they shoot hard. And if I know that this is our military, I'm no longer afraid of hiding. The city has some public transport, pharmacies, some shops and a market. Humanitarian aid is also being brought to Bakhmut. Bread and other necessities are available free of charge. According to the head of the volunteer center, Irina, about 300 people come to help every day. I came to get a humanitarian help for my mother. My mother is 85 years old. She can't go out. She's sitting at home. She's blind. Due to the shelling by the Russian military, most of Bakhmut citizens has already been evacuated from the frontline city. However, more than 30,000 people still live here. I'm afraid, but I have to leave. I can only go to the cemetery with my pension. You need to have some money savings to go somewhere. I am 80 years old. I never thought that Russia would kill us so brutally. Why are they killing us? For the fact that we are Ukrainians? And to whom did Ukraine do something bad? It seems to me that the people of Ukraine are very kind. The head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, said that the Russian army continues to storm Severodonetsk and also uses sabotage and reconnaissance groups in the Bilohorivka area. During the current day in Lysychansk, the Russian military fired on a mining and industrial vocational college, school and market, and a fire broke out there with an area of 1,000 square meters. Rescuers evacuated 2 victims from the school. 3 more wounded from Lysychansk and Privilya were hospitalized in medical institutions of other regions, Serhiy Haidai reports. At that time, the enemy also fired on Zolote, where 13 houses were destroyed. In Hirske, 11 residential buildings were damaged. A graduation dance was danced on the ruins by students from school number 134 in Kharkiv. The school was destroyed in late February during a battle between Ukrainian defenders and Russian special forces, who managed to enter the city. To begin with, today is our graduation, and that's why I'm happy. I finally graduated from school. And then, destroyed the school. Horrible. Fortunately, the whole class was not injured. Everyone is alive in my class. 10 students gathered to dance the final waltz. This is 1/3 of the class, says Nastya. We had to celebrate with the class in the cafe, but no worries, we are not upset, we will dance today. How it feels to see your school this way? Sadly, I studied for 11 years. My younger brother studies here, but it will be rebuilt and it will be better. Irina Hudzenko has worked at the school for over 20 years. She came to work for the first time since the beginning of the war. Exactly a week before the war, we started preparing for graduation. Children were already rehearsing the waltz. It's just a part of the waltz they wanted to present to their parents. Students do not have official celebration this year. This farewell is improvised. Soldiers of the Kraken Special Unit arrived to greet the graduates. They are one of those who liberated the city from saboteurs. They had the last outpost in this school. We will rebuild Kharkiv, we will definitely win the war, and we will have peace and new life after the war. Glory to the nation, death to the enemies.
Після війни. Слава нації!